Welcome to the Powercast, live with you every Tuesday night. A very special episode here tonight. Just a very intimate episode of you and me, Eric.
Special?
It's special because just the two of us. Just the two of us.
Who sings it?
We can make it if we try.
Yeah, you could sing it terribly, but who sang that song?
Is that Lionel Richie?
Nope.
Um,
Look it up. But I think it's Peebo Bryson.
Well, that's impressive. Welcome to the Powercast, live every Tuesday night with you, Erik, Vasquez, Dave Lemel. The entertainment of your week is here, and we're excited to be with part of you, and part of your day, and a part of your evening, and a part of your week. I repeat myself. Make sure to follow us on social media. Make sure, if you haven't done so already, go to YouTube, type in Team Powerhouse Real Estate, hit subscribe, jump on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts.
I was wrong.
It's all good. That being said, let's make sure that we're live, everybody. It can hear us and what's going on. Are we live on TikTok?
Yes.
Are we live on Instagram? And we are live on Facebook with a very special rendition of a show. We have a new man behind the scenes over here today who is taking over from Jonathan. His name is Thane, and we want to thank you so much for being a part of
Welcome, Thane.
our experience.
Thank
we
you
want to
for having me.
We want to thank Jonathan out there for being a very special part of our show for the last 2 years. Did a great job. We've learned a lot together, and we appreciate all his hard work throughout the process.
For sure.
And
And he
also-
taught Thane.
And he's been teaching.
And you guys,
Thane.
if you guys were watching last week, you saw Thane briefly on screen.
Poor Thane. Thane made his debut last week in a way that most people wouldn't or haven't.
With a bang.
With a bang. All right, so we're going to talk about some interesting things in the show today. We're looking for you guys to be part of our show as always. We want your thoughts and feelings and ideas. But, you know, we talk about the ideas of the supply and demand and what's going on in the real estate market here in Connecticut. Now, in Connecticut, just a heads up, if you're out there, you probably watch the news a little bit. You probably have an idea of what's happening in the real estate market, why. So some things Eric and I want to share with you about the market today in Connecticut, on the whole state of Connecticut. I'm going to put out a question if anybody's watching. Do you know, and I'm not going to give the answer yet, do you know how many homes are for sale in all of Connecticut from 0 to a gazillion? All right? If you know an answer, you think you know an answer, here's a chance to win a free tumbler. And let's see over the next 5 to 10 minutes, let's say 10 minutes time, who comes up with the closest answer out there watching on social media as to how many homes are for sale on the market right now in Connecticut,
Well,
all counties.
You have to set some ground rules first. It can't be a realtor that has access to the MLS.
That's fair. Good point. Can't be a realtor with access to MLS. That's fair. But the average person who's out there looking or thinking about it or wants to know. I got a buddy, Brad Wiseman, as we know, in Pennsylvania, and he talks weekly about how many homes are for sale in his county. And I think they're in the ballpark at 300 change in his county. They do a lot of work in Pennsylvania, as we know, and yada, yada, yada. But so let's talk about Connecticut here and just all of Connecticut. Now, I say all of Connecticut means New Haven, Hartford, Litchfield, Tolland, everything. New London County, Middlesex,
Hartford.
exactly.
Just in case you forgot it.
Just in case I got a few that I forgot behind my ears over here, in front of my eyes, and everything else. But do you guys out there have any idea or thoughts or feelings to how many homes are actually for sale in the state of Connecticut? Anybody out there with some answers they thought, they think they know? Anybody on Facebook? Thane, are you able to follow along on Facebook, maybe on your phone or through the...
I'm on it.
All right. So if you have any idea how many homes are for sale in the state of Connecticut, the next thing I'm going to talk about is, while that's being there and discussed, let's talk about the counties around you. So right now we have how many homes in the market coming to the market in Connecticut? Good news is there are a lot of homes coming to sale to the market for sale. There are 239 homes that are coming to the market over the next couple of days. That's huge. All right, that's such important information. The question is, where are they, and what kind of price range are they in? So let's talk about that for just a moment, right? Let's do it by county. How about if I do that by county? So if we go to New Haven County specifically, coming soon, there's 47 homes in New Haven County, which is not a lot of homes when you break it down that way, right? 47 homes in New Haven County. That's about maybe 2 or 3 per town, right?
Yeah, not a lot.
If you go into Hartford County, there are 59 homes coming for sale in Hartford County. In Fairfield County, we have another 59 homes coming for sale in Fairfield County. Litchfield County, we have 21 homes coming for sale in Litchfield County. Let's call it Middlesex County. There are 12 homes coming for sale in Middlesex. That's a very small amount of homes. So if you're looking in Middlesex County, it's getting even harder for you. Any questions out there? Anybody
There's
guessing?
2 answers to your question.
How about
for
some?
free tumbler.
Who's got the answers for? Give me a name.
5,200 from Richard D. Truman.
Hey, Rich Truman, thank you so much for watching. Good guess. So I'm gonna write that down. Rich said 5,000. Where's my pen? All right, I need a pen. Rich said 5,000. How many?
5,200.
5,200 from Rich, and who else made a guess?
Michael Cristoforo, 400.
400 homes in all of
He
Connecticut for
also had another question. He asked what you're eating, Eric.
Eric.
Tootsie Roll.
Richard Truman, that's a great guess, but I'm going to tell you that you're way high, to be fair.
Little high, not way high, a little high.
Well, just a bit outside, but more than 1,000 high. How about that? Is that fair?
I don't know,
I just kind of, he just gets 5,000.
Okay.
So I just gave a hint to you all now. So if you're watching out there, continue to guess. I would love to get you a free tumbler. So the question was, again, how many homes do you think are for sale in the whole state of Connecticut? It's actually mind-blowing with the amount of people we have in. How many people in Connecticut would you say, Eric? 30 million?
Population?
Yeah.
That's a good question. If you give me a second, I can.
I'm gonna
tell
have
you the
Eric
answer.
check that out. How many people in the state of Connecticut that live here? And that includes probably snowbirds as well. Half Floridian, half Connecticut people.
What did you say it was?
Is it 30 million? I have no idea.
Uh,
Not even close. So there's,
3.6 million as of 2021.
all right, so let's
So,
just,
and I noticed some New Yorkers moved in, but I don't think it was 27 million of them.
let's say about there's about 4 million people in the state of Connecticut. So in 4 million people in the state of Connecticut, we've got many counties, and we're looking for how many homes are for sale in Connecticut today. All right, so going back to what we're talking before is, in each county, how many homes are coming for sale, coming in the market? New London County's got 23 homes coming to market. Tolland's got 19 homes coming to market. And Wyndham has only 4 homes coming to market. That's crazy.
I'm sorry, did you want some Skittles?
I would love a Skittle.
Here you go.
I can't eat and talk at the same time, so I'll just have one at a time, if that makes sense. Yellow Skittle. That being said, the market is kind of crazy. And then the other question is, and what kind of price range are these homes for sale? What I'm gonna say to you is that there are,
Wow.
well, actually, if I give that number, I'll probably give out the answer on the homes for
Well-
sale.
When we were doing the research for that,
Yeah,
I could not believe the percentage of houses that were over $1 million
yeah.
of the houses that are currently in the market.
Connecticut is one of the wealthiest states per capita, people-wise, in the country, I believe. The wealthiness comes here because the education system is a big draw for people who come to Connecticut. Facts are not facts. Facts,
To some degree, yeah.
yeah. Connecticut,
Proximity to New York is another one.
right, we are Connecticut in the middle of New York and Massachusetts, 2 big pieces of the puzzle in this country. Sports teams, we are in Connecticut here. But I will tell you what, a big part of Connecticut I like that they brought in here, you got the Hartford Yard Goats, and you also have the Hartford Athletics, which opened up in Connecticut, which, by the way, Danny got his first internship out of school at the Hartford Athletics. Very excited about that for him. He starts, I think, next week, May 15th. All right, Rich, anybody else guessing out there out loud from guessing points as far as the anime people? Anybody on TikTok, any guess over there? Instagram? All right. Well, I'm going to tell you this. Rich Truman, I'm going to send you a tumbler, my friend, because you are an awesome dude, and I miss you and your family, and love to have you part of our
He's
show.
also a lot closer than Mike was.
He is a lot closer to Mike. Definitely much closer to Mike. Well, there are a total of, including houses and condos, only 3,174 homes, 3,174 homes for sale in all of Connecticut. Now, that's crazy. With that being said, there's 20,000 realtors in Connecticut. Let's do the math on that one. How many agents out there in Connecticut will not be working as a real estate agent in the next year? I would say to you, I'm looking for a good 25% of realtors to actually stop working in Connecticut. What do you think, Eric? I think that we lose 5,000
I've learned
agents.
from predictions on my end.
Yeah.
I don't do predictions anymore.
I'm seeing probably hopefully 5,000 agents decide to retire from the real estate business because there's none of business over here. This is not Florida. Florida's got a gazillion people. How many people in the state of Florida, by the way?
Florida's population?
Yeah, I'm just actually, Rich. Do you know the Florida population by chance? If you could help me out on that question, Susan, if to answer your question, or you or Eric. So yeah, there's 3,174 homes for
21.78 mil.
Wow, that's a huge difference from Connecticut, isn't that right?
Yeah.
And I would say to you that probably 25% at least are from New York. And I would say to you that probably another 5% to 10% apply from Connecticut easily. No doubt about that. You know,
Don't
we go down.
forget the snowbirds.
Well, the snowbirds still count. Which side do they count on? Do they count the Connecticut side or do they count on the Florida side? All right. So in the 3,174 homes for sale, 558 condos, 2616 homes. Rich, by the way, make sure you send me your contact, your address. I can get the Tumblr. Out of the total 3,174, there are only, and Rich, you can text me, by the way, that information. That's 203-671-7062. I know you have my phone number. It's the same number for the last, 20 years, so I know you have my number. There are, out of, how many are under 1 million homes for sale, Eric? Out of the 3,174, how many are under a million? You remember that number?
Yeah, 73%.
73% of homes are under $1 million, which means 27% of the homes are over $1 million.
So 1 out of every 4 houses is over $1 million in
That's
Connecticut.
unbelievable. That just shows the state of Connecticut, how much the values have risen.
Well, but it's also just incredibly difficult for your regular buyer.
Absolutely, incredibly
kind of
different.
numbers.
Absolutely true. We have more cash buyers than ever before in Connecticut shopping for homes, more than I've ever seen before. And a lot of that has attested to parents helping out. You know what parents are doing is they have no mortgage on their house. They're pulling the equity on their house out, helping their kids buy a house for cash. Then the kids go ahead and they buy the house for cash and refinance it and give the money back to mom and dad. Pretty genius idea, by the way. Great way to help your kids out, if you can, is you take the equity out of your house, give them that money for cash, they buy the house, then they refinance, get a mortgage on their house, and pay you back. Pretty cool idea. One way to be ahead of the curve. Kind of sneaky, but kind of impressive. I've seen a lot of things happen. 401ks being liquidated or borrowing against your 401ks. Very smart. Pay yourself back. Help yourself buy a house. So 27% of homes are over $1 million. We have a major problem in our labor force here in Connecticut. Nobody seems to want to work, and everybody's looking for help. But more than that, you have a situation where people are going to college today, and they're going for these degrees that aren't going to pay them the money they need to make for how much money it's costing to go to school. I think today, more than ever, people need to start considering looking into jobs that are in the trades. And these trade businesses are desperately looking for you to come and work for them and get jobs, get educated. I'm not sure.
They're also pretty well-paying jobs.
Very, very good paying jobs. You get a job in the trades, you'll never ever go without an income. Through every kind of dynamic of depressions, if you will.
There will always be electricity and there will always be water.
That's for sure. So as you mentioned, Eric, trade jobs in demand: plumbers, electricians, technicians, welders, construction. Speaking of construction, we talked about homes and new construction, right? New construction today is far and few between because there's not any more land really left to build. They're knocking down houses if you're willing to sell your house and build new houses, developments. The farms have been depleted in Connecticut for the most part. There's very little new construction. And if you find new construction out there, you're probably looking between $700,000 and $800,000 just to start, and you end up over $1 million in the end of the day once you finish that new construction. We have a few people that have been working with new construction, and this is exactly what's going on. But you can make what you want if you have the money to do it. Dental hygienist, boil makers. Wow, I'm not sure what a boil maker is. Carpenter,
What?
boil maker. Boil maker. Boilermaker.
Thank you.
Boi- I'm not sure what's a boilermaker. A carpenter, construction management, mechanics, operators, aircraft maintenance technicians. We are definitely short on the Air Force. We definitely need people to fly planes over here. We every airport have problems. Not enough stewardesses, not enough people who are able to fly airplanes.
Flight attendants.
Flight
Not
attendants.
stewardesses anymore.
Sorry, flight attendants. I wasn't being sexist. Male or female flight attendants, and also people who learn to fly planes. We need pilots. As a matter of fact, Danny's roommate CJ, he's studying to be a pilot. It's amazing what is involved in getting a pilot's license. How many hours you have to fly in order to become a pilot and get a commercial airline opportunity. Something to look into.
So check
If-
this out.
Yes.
Three of that 3,000 houses,
Three.
3,174 houses.
Yes.
Okay. 360 that are on the market are new builds. Built.
Wow.
Built or to be built in 2023.
10%.
Yeah.
No
It's
kidding.
about 10%.
I'm actually impressed by the 10%. I thought it'd be less. What towns?
Oh, I went to 2022. 176 built last year.
Which is not a lot of houses. An average builder, first of all, takes 6 months to build a house, depending on the season, where they are in the country, what kind of environmental issues they have to worry about, and then of course the supply and demand issue of we've had over the last couple of years with materials. They've caught up with that. We definitely see the material situation has gotten much better than it used to be. If you're a builder out there and you can attest to that or have any kind of suggestions or feelings, we'd love to hear from you. Speaking of that,
22 new builds from last year, price below 500K.
wow.
Yep.
So what would that be a price range?
Bristol, Manchester, Basra, Middlebury, Colchester, East Windsor, Bristol, Middletown, East Windsor, Killingly, Plainfield. Yeah.
These are towns that would normally not have a lot of new builds to begin with. And they're probably new builds that are in very few homes. They're probably not developments, I bet you, either. What do you see there for new?
Some of them are, some of them are, PUDs.
Individual,
or-
yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of new builds, so if you're looking to build a new house, you're finding a problem with finding locations for areas you might want to be in. So for example, your average person wants to, let's say, be close to Hartford or New Haven, you may not have the opportunity. You may have to go outside the box and go a little farther out in order to do new construction tonight. And depending what kind of price range you want to be in, that'll make a difference also. As you mentioned, Eric, price range for new build, did you mention that up before?
No, I'm looking that up now.
All right, good question to find out. New builds, what kind of price range are we looking at in Connecticut? From high to low, and the high ones, let's say between, I don't know, 800,000 plus, where they're located, I'm curious also. So we have a problem with the labor force, and we need people to really get jobs. Going to college may be great for some of you, but it may not be for all of you. And I'm big on college and getting degrees. If you pick a degree that's going to get you a job, right? So talk to your kids. Make sure they're going to college, not just to get away from their brothers and sisters. Because if that's what it is, it's cheaper to get them an apartment, okay, than to go and pay for college. I can guarantee you that for sure. So if your kids want to go to school, they want to get a degree, let's talk about what kind of degree they want to get into.
68, right? 68 houses under 500K. New builds to be built or already built in 2023.
What county? What area?
They're all over. Beacon Falls, Ledyard, Naugatuck, Bridgeport, East Hampton, North Haven.
All over the state, onesie twosies. We don't have a lot of them all pooled together, which means that, again, we don't have a lot of land to build homes. Very hard to find new construction to build here in Connecticut. It is available. You just might be outside the box of where you are.
I'm wondering if some of the towns are modifying some of their, like Durham
Yep.
has a minimum 2 acre, 2 acre parcels.
That's a great
I
question.
wonder if the towns are making any exceptions to those based on the need for housing or something like that.
On one hand, I think it's a great idea to make it, let's say, instead of 2 acre, 1 acre. But at the same time, these towns don't want to have the population be overpopulated.
Right.
Which is why they made these 2 acre or 1 acre lots. I know Woodbridge is also very similar. I think you have 2 acre lots minimum in the town. I think Cheshire is it a 1 acre lot in Cheshire? I could be wrong. Or maybe it's a half acre lot in Cheshire. something else you might be able to find out, the acreage you need to have, in town for building and construction. Going back to, again, the labor force, you have some mechanics, operators. I'm not sure what kind of operator I'm talking about over here. An operator is a professional designation used in various industries, including broadcasting, computing, power generation and transmission, customer service, physics, and construction. We're also looking for people who want to do podcasts like Thane over here. That's a huge element, by the way, if you know technology. We're very lucky to have him here. It's tough to find people in the tech world today who are into this visual presence that's out there. More and more people are doing podcasts from home. They're doing podcasts from businesses. It's a great interest to get into. I don't know what the kind of category to be into. What do you call it? Do you have any idea what it's called for podcasting?
None.
Not an idea.
Audio engineering or something
Maybe
like that, I guess?
that sounds about right. Aircraft maintenance technician, respiratory therapist, registration nurse, millwright. Not sure what that is either. Hold on, I'll pull that one up. A millwright? A millwright is a craftsman or skilled tradesperson who installs, dismantles, maintains, repairs, reassembles, and moves machinery in factories, power plants, and construction sites. Wow. I mean, there are a lot of things here that you should look into. Honestly, moms and dads and kids out there who are in high school and you're not sure what you want to do, you should go ahead and Google trade jobs in demand. And I would start to look at things that might be of interest to you, because these are jobs and places that people really, really need, and more people
Some
like
good
yourself.
schools too. What's the one in Meriden?
You have Wilcox and Meriden,
Wilcox.
yep, and you have Platt Tech in Milford. Great school, Platt
That's
Tech,
where I'm at, yeah.
right? Platt Tech, Wilcox. There are a lot of great trade schools out there. As a matter of fact, I remember back in the day, and it's going to sound very wonky when I say this, if you were in high school and you went to a trade school, it was not the norm for people to do. But more and more today, the trade schools are becoming I think, a very big power industry of schools, and should be looked at. It's going to be harder and harder to get into these type of schools. Trade schools are places where you actually get hands-on work, mechanics, electricians, plumbers, carpentry, culinary. And thank you for mentioning that. Culinary is another huge one. In the restaurant business today, you cannot find chefs or line cooks. You cannot find people who work in restaurants. These restaurants are dying. I got a buddy, his name is Rob Marcarelli. He's a phenomenal chef. I want to get him on the show. He also does restaurant businesses. He sells businesses. And businesses today, these restaurants, they cannot find people to hire, whether it's seasonal or non-seasonal. I mean, waitresses and waiters. You cannot find bartenders anymore. It's unbelievable. By the way, bartending job, go to bartending school. What is a bartending school? A couple of months? Do you know how much money you can make as a bartender? I mean, it's unbelievable. It's facts.
Couple of months?
Bartending school?
Is it 2 weeks?
Is it 2 weeks? Is it really 2 weeks? Okay. So bartending school, you have the opportunity today more
I
than
had a lot of
ever.
bar experience though, so it made it a little bit easier. I was kind of like an accelerated course.
Tell me something. Actually, how long does it say bartending school? Is it really 2 weeks?
Bartending school?
Is it really 2
Look it
weeks?
up. No, I went to bartending school.
Let's see. Licensed practical nurses, elevator mechanics, auto mechanic, bricklayers, medical assistants, line workers. I mean, guys, there are so many jobs out there that this country needs for you to be a part of that can make you a ton of money and give you an opportunity to do something instead of going to debt and go to college that you may not be a part, but you need to do. I mean, again, I'm big on college. If you know you want to go to college, you want to be an accountant, a doctor, you want to be something, you got to go to college, get a job, make sure you're making enough money that you can pay off school. I don't know. How about within 10 years? If you can't pay off college within 10 years, you might want to consider what job you're looking for, because otherwise you'll be in debt all your life. Is that fair and reasonable? What are your thoughts, Eric? No comment? You also might
No.
consider going into the military. The military might be a great place for you to look into going. Military will open up more doors for you than anywhere else because you serve your country, number one. And number two, the opportunities that come with being a part of the military in this country is housing, getting special discounts and rates and all kinds of opportunities. You serve your country, you'll learn hands-on experience as well, right?
I guess it depends on what your occupation is.
You could be medical. You could be what's it called?
This 2-day professional bartending course, 2 days.
Wow.
You get National SMART certification, servers and managers alcohol responsibility training, SMART.
2 days.
2
I'm not
days.
sure.
Well, some of them 2 days, yeah.
I'm not so sure that 2 days is enough
I
time.
think you're very limited on what you can make.
Yeah.
Maybe, popping open a bottle,
Yeah,
cutting
no.
a lime and putting it in the bottle.
But what's a real bartending school? I don't take it. Sorry that I'm chewing over your candy. Ask Eric. I'm on a diet. Look at my face. I need to lose weight. Eric, what are you doing to me over here? All right. I'm sorry. I'm going through a thing. I've been out of the gym for like 5 months personally. Was in a car accident. Haven't been to the gym. I've been eating as if I was going to the chair. And that's why my face looks this big on camera. All right. So Eric, thank you very much for your candy. I'm on a strict diet. All right. So the labor force. We have a lot of things going on today in this country. We have high interest rates. People say, well, the high interest rates is why I can't buy a house. There's truth to that. The rates are so high that it's really caused a problem for people looking to buy a house and be able to afford a house. But you know what? Let's talk about this 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Rates were at 20%. So people who bought a house 20, 30 years ago at 20%, it came to 18 to 15 to 10%. They never thought it was going to go below 10% back in the day. It went down below 10%. We went down to, in the last 2 years, before this whole change in things that are going on in this country, we were down between 2 and 3%. The best economy we've ever had, right? So how do we get back there? Things have to change. In order for things to change, we all have to want it to change, obviously. More important than that, going back to interest rates, you have a situation where sellers right now who are trying to sell houses, why aren't people coming in the market to sell their house? Why is there a housing shortage? Why is there a housing shortage of people selling houses, Eric?
What was that? I was looking for the
Bartending?
length of bartending school.
All right.
But there's no.
So sellers, right now, we want as realtors more people to come and sell their house. How does that happen? It's pretty simple in my eyes. And what do I know from this stuff? I just happen to be in the business. In order for this industry to change, the rates have to come down. The rates come down, sellers go, you know what? I'll sell my house so I can buy another house and not have a high interest rate. That's as simple as it gets. You want to create more listings, more sales, more properties come on the market. We've got to get the rates to come down. So that's facts, in my opinion, how to get the market to be more stimulated.
Well, I mean, some sellers, they could be selling because they need to, not necessarily because.
They want to relocate.
But relocate or just taking advantage of the current market.
Absolutely.
So I wouldn't be surprised if more sellers are renting right after they sell and just rent for a year, wait for the rates to come down a little bit, wait for the market to change if it changes in a year, and then buy in a year,
Very possible. Or sellers are making so much money in their houses they deserve to make because it's been more than 10 years since they've seen an absolute valuation of their home. Taking that money and going and buying another house for cash.
I'm taking this because of you, for you.
I appreciate
I'm doing this for you.
I appreciate that. I really shouldn't eat the sugar. No, but seriously, I think that the facts is right, what you're saying, that home sellers right now, they're cashing out, as you should. It's a great time to sell. What's going to happen is if everybody else decides to sell at the same time, will the price be the same or not? That's a good question. I don't see the market ever coming back down, ever again. This market will not crash, in my opinion. That's a pretty strong statement by me. I don't think the market's going to crash at all because the supply and demand situation that we are in this country is so low. They say
I think it'll level off. I don't think it'll crash.
10 years they're talking about before we see a change in the market. 10 years. Because of the supply and demand. So sellers, take advantage of the opportunity and sell your house. Buyers, don't be scared. You buy a house, a couple of years, the rates will come back down, and that's going to happen. You'll get a paycheck in your pocket. You'll refinance at a lower rate. You'll be in a good position.
Well, every buyer has to look at the purchase of their house as being twofold.
Yes.
It's a purchase of a house, but it's also an investment.
A huge investment.
So
Best investment you can make.
if you can get a return on that investment in 2 or 3 years where you anticipated it being 10, 15, maybe 20,
That's right.
As
a matter of fact, you say that, Eric, we would tell our clients all the time, you're buying a house, figure 5 to 7 years before you consider selling your house to see equity in your house. We've had now people, Jamie and our team has 3 or 4 people who bought a house from her in the last couple of years. They put their house in the market. Now they're worth 25 to 50,000 more than they bought it from 2 years ago. How
But
crazy?
that's because Jamie got them sweet deals.
She did get them sweet deals, but not to mention, on top of that, you have this opportunity to sell and buy again. People might have bought a small home based on what they can afford. They've now got all this equity in their house. They can take that equity, put it down on a house that's more expensive, and have the same payment. Opportunities here if you want it. It's a great time to sell, okay? It's a great time to make a move, and do not be scared about being able to find a house, because here's what I tell my clients all the time. This is a fact. You put your house in the market, here's what happens. Someone else has been waiting for your house that's got a smaller house. They see your house for sale, they go, oh my God, I gotta put my house in the market for sale. They wanna buy your house, you wanna buy their house, and that's what happens across the country. So, put your house in the market, it creates a domino effect of more homes come in the market, and you'll see what you want to be out there, for sure. Eric.
Never found how long the bartending schools are, so
You can just Google how long is bartending school,
I did.
and what did it say?
Just gave me a bunch of bartending academies and schools and stuff like that.
Ask
So
Siri.
when I clicked on them, they just, they give me the curriculum and stuff like that, but they don't say how long they are.
Ask Siri how many hours is bartending school? How many weeks? I don't know. See what Siri says.
Okay.
All right, guys. I'm probably boring you to tears this show. Hopefully not. We're having some fun over here, talking about a lot of different issues and questions and things people ask us about all the time. If you guys ever have questions for us and want a show to be talked about certain things, please bring it to our attention. If it's could you look at my calendar while you can't look at my calendar while that's on now. All right. We'll give you a heads up as to who's coming on the show next Tuesday. We have a couple great guests lined up.
We have guests lined up?
We have guests lined up over the next few weeks. We have, well, I'm not going to actually mention. We have a woman named Rachel who'll be on our show. I think it's next week. And if it's not next week, it's the week after that. She owns a credit card processing company. A great company. Very excited to have her on the show. And we've got a company called Elite Transportation, as a matter of fact, that we're going to have on the show. They are a company who takes your car and moves it across country. We just had Danny bring his car, I shipped his car from Florida back to Connecticut. And what I learned about in this business is there's a lot of very interesting ways people do this. Most important thing is to find a good company that you can trust. You pick the phone up, you know who you're talking to, and they take care of you. If you go online and you type it in, looking to transport your car, you'll get 7 gazillion people reach out to you saying that they have somebody for you for $300, $400. It's all a bunch of crap. That's what I learned. We can get more into detail about that process too. But we have a lot of great people coming to the show for the next couple of weeks. And we appreciate you being part of our show every week. And hopefully we're having some fun with you and teaching you a little bit. And also,
Well, I've got very important information for those of you who are considering attending bartending school. Some have 40-hour courses. Some have 7-day lessons.
oh, wow.
There's one place here, probably not the one everybody wants to go to, and I'm not going to throw their name out there
Is
because
it
I don't want
France?
to ruin it. You have 1 year to complete the training.
Wow.
Bartending internship can last 2 to 6 weeks. Bartending internship.
Wow. What a great thing to do in college. Hey, speaking of that, anyway, we'll make
I'm on the other side of the bar, sorry.
on the other side of the
I'm
bar.
on the other side of the bar.
No pun
The
intended.
part where the drinking goes on, not the pouring.
So guys, the point of this whole show is there's a lot more to do in this real estate market when it comes to selling and buying. We'd love to work for you to sell your house. If you're looking to sell and you have questions about what your house is worth, please give us a chance to let you know. Eric's number, his cell number, which he likes to make sure that everybody knows out loud, 203-707-9077. My number is 203-671. 70.
Boy,
Hopefully Thane has our numbers on the screen anyway. And any of our team agents, by the way, we have a website you should definitely check out if you haven't been there before. Go to teampowerhouserealestateCT.com. Go on there, find an agent you want to work with, and reach out to us. We'd love to work for you. It'd be a great place, an opportunity for us to get to meet and know a little more about you and you about us, and help you find a home and educate you about homes like you've never been educated before. Is that fair, Eric?
agreed.
All right. So the next part of the show, we're going to give out a free tumbler to a lucky winner. And make sure, please, Richard Truman, for joining us on the show today, and your great guests. of how many homes are on the market for
And
sale.
good guess, yeah.
It was pretty good. And I mean, you know what? He used to live in Connecticut, moved to Florida a couple years ago. Good guy, good
Is he a
family.
realtor or no?
No, he was in the, he works for my family. He was running our retail establishments. He was the chief honcho. A lot of stress.
If I
on that
wasn't
job.
in the business, I might have said 50,000.
You never know with this real estate market, how many homes for sale. You have no idea what's going on. I mean, like 20,000 realtors and 3,174 homes for sale. I mean, that's why it's important to make sure you have a realtor that works for you that knows what's going on. I mean, it's crazy. All right, Thane, do we get that wheel up and ready to go? All right, who is going to be our lucky winner today of a free tumbler? Now, Thane, we can't see anything that's going on.
Spinning right now.
Spinning. Is anybody else on the screen able to watch and see it?
Yes, everybody can see.
That's beautiful.
Ain't the whole friggin' bag.
All right, the winner is Tessa E. Wilson.
Tessa E. Wilson.
Doesn't say what social media.
That's not possible. It's got to say.
It just says Tessa E. Wilson.
Tessa E. Wilson. All right, Tessa. Great name, by the way. Tessa from one of my favorite movies. With the bank, with the robbery from the casino. What's it called?
No idea.
Oh, come on. Tessa. She was Julia Roberts. Tessa was Julia Roberts in the movie.
Oh,
Ocean 11. There you go. Yeah.
Ocean 12,
You're the movie
Ocean
guy.
13.
Yes. Or Tess. All right, Tessa. We would
Ocean
love
8.
to get you a free tumbler. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us this week on the show. We cannot wait to see you next week. We appreciate your time, and we appreciate the opportunity to work for you, more importantly.
Send Skittles.
And a sponsor by Skittles.
No, send Skittles. Or Tootsie Rolls.
We'll talk to you guys soon, everybody. Have a great week.
Thanks, everybody.